I mean, is this the most exciting live shot I've ever done? We're a couple hours away now from tip-off. The first of two preseason games in China, Brooklyn Nets versus the Phoenix Suns, and more than 12,000 fans will fill the Sands Arena here in Macau. I want to show this to you. The players are returning to the practice court. And look, this really represents a symbol. This game is more than about basketball. It represents 6 years of hard work repairing a China-NBA relationship that soured in 2019. But with 425 million Chinese basketball fans, the NBA has a China fan base that dwarfs even its U.S. base. Actually, it dwarfs the whole U.S. population. And a survey by S&P Global Market Intelligence found 52% of respondents in China say they watch NBA basketball games, and they're getting hooked early. Basketball legend Yao Ming talked with CNBC about access to the sport, where 90% of the courts are outdoors.
You can also just have a basketball and a hoop in the village, in the open ground. And I saw some of a picture. I even witnessed some with my eye, because hiding in the car, I can't really be there. But I really feel touched by those passion of those, those fans and those athletes who just even they play on the basketball court, without those fancy jerseys. But the passion, you can feel the passion.
That passion translates into profits from Tencent, which carries the games, Nike, which sells basketball merchandise. And think about Las Vegas Sands. When you have a soon-to-be CEO, Patrick Dumont, who landed this 5-year deal to host the NBA China games right here in this arena, and he owns the Dallas Mavericks. So then you build a following for the Mavericks across China. Oh, and by the way, I pressed Dumont about whether he's bringing the Mavericks here to play in the China games. He wouldn't say, but Yao Ming told my colleague, Emily Tan of CNBC Asia, that the Houston Rockets will play the China games next year. So that's some news you can use, Frank.
Yeah, of course. Yao Ming's former team, he actually built up a big fan base for the Rockets there in China during his playing days. I want to go back to this game and the fact that it's a 5-year deal. And as you mentioned, the owner of the Mavericks is also a casino owner, and he's kind of working out the fact that the NBA is coming back there. Is NBA betting a big thing in China? Is that something that some of the gambling companies that you cover are seeing as a tailwind for their business, that the NBA comes back and more people in China are going to bet on the games?
That's a great question, but sports gambling is entirely illegal in China. So the only sports gambling that you have happens in offshore platforms, which, by the way, is happening around the world. In Macau, where gambling is legal, I mean, the Chinese government really frowns on gambling at all. In Macau, it's legal. And there is one sports betting operator. It's a monopoly. But when I asked Las Vegas Sands president Patrick Dumont about whether sports betting could be a thing here, he said, the profit margins in sports betting are just so slim that they don't want that to be the focus. They would rather have the focus be on gambling, baccarat, for instance, and leave the sports to draw them in. So what's happening is the basketball is drawing in the fans. The fans also, some of them happen to be high rollers, and so that's driving the business on the casino floor as well. I
mean, speaking of high rollers, Contessa, you're right there on the floor. Are you going to get to take a shot? Is anybody going to pass you a ball?
I mean, you were teasing me yesterday about.
I wasn't teasing you. That was cool. I was not teasing you.
Basketball shots I took in the I mean, 3 times. It took me 3 times to make the basket, and nobody's invited me in yet. Right now, they're practicing with the younger players over here, which is pretty cool to see. It's amazing to see, by the way, Frank, how the American players have been mobbed by these young Chinese teenagers and young adults. They stand by the entrance to the hotel waiting to get the autographs. And Michael Rubin, who we're going to talk to in Squawk Box, says these collectibles are becoming a big business in China. We'll have more on that coming up in Squawk Box.
Very cool. We're seeing some fans mob one of the players right now. By the way, Contessa, basketball rule, if you call for the ball, somebody has to pass it to you for a shot. So if you want to take, just call for it. You put your hands up, they got to pass it.
Really?
Yeah, that's the rules.
Can I have that ball? No, they're just ignoring me.
You got to try again. You got to try. There's too much pressure in the moment. Our Contessa Brewer live in Macau.